Flyweight 2, which is a new concept for us with Dwyane here, and I think it's a pretty cool opportunity for all of you to see how Dwyane works with us to create some of the most compelling products from the Jordan brand. And this time, we did something a little different with regards to this shoe compared to the Flyweight 1. And it really started with Dwyane's insights as far as how he wanted this product to perform for him compared to the Flyweight 1. So I'm gonna let Dwyane start just talking a little bit about what it is that he needs in his product to help him play better and perform at the top level, okay?
I guess with anybody who ever heard me talk about sneakers before, even my game, first of all, it's always about, first thing I do when I sit down is always about the comfort level in the shoe. So I need my shoe to be comfortable. I need to be able to withstand everything that I'm gonna throw at it on the basketball court. So I need to be durable as well. So that's something that, we really, the first two things we sit down and talk about is the comfort in the shoe and then the durability of the shoe. And also I sweat a lot, which everyone knows. So I also need my shoe to, be able to be strong enough to take the sweat and not get too, I always say, too flimsy, or where it's not still as stable as it was in the beginning of the game. So these guys have to work through that. And then after that it comes the look. And it comes whatever look that whatever you're going through in that time in your life is kind of the look you want on your sneakers. So for me, as a man, is always cars. So when we sit down, we talk about pretty much what car you driving, what cars you like, what colors you like. So if you look at these shoes, you'll see a lot of matte finish on these shoes. And right now you see a lot of cars that has got the matte finish, matte black, matte white, all these things. So that was kind of the things that I sat down and I kind of talk with when I talk with the designers about how I wanted the Flyweight 2 to look different from the Flyweight 1.
Yeah, that's a great point, because when I first met D, one of the first things we started talking about was Aston Martin. And I was like, yo, Aston Martin, seriously? He's made my job a lot easier, right? So, because he talked a lot about the fact that one of the things that we have in this model is a last that we use is the BBO3 last. And that last allows us for us to create a shoe that's going to fit around his foot perfectly. Yeah, so it's narrower last, it's for speed game, quick game. That allows us to really tailor this product to fit his foot that much better compared to the Flyweight 1. He talked a little bit about comfort. So one of the things we really sweated the details, remember we kept talking about this collar? So if you notice this collar is asymmetrical on this shoe. And it really reflects these foot morphology, what we call it foot anatomy. And he wants to make sure that his ankles have enough range of motion. So we really sweat the detail to make sure that this didn't hit his ankle bone in the wrong way. I mean, we changed this thing, right, five, six times.
Yeah, a lot.
Get it right, because we sent it to D and he's like, not right yet. So you remember some of those?
Yeah, I mean, my thing with my sneakers, a lot of people wear different shoes. Some guys wear high tops, some guys wear low tops. I'm kind of in the mid. For me, I want protection in my ankle area, but also I want freedom as well. So it's trying to come between that fine line of, how do you get it to where you have the protection on the ankle, but it's not too tight, it's not too snug on the ankle part. So it's trying to get like the perfect height, which we worked on.
Yeah, and the other thing too is when we were talking about this D, as far as you're like, my game, I'm jumping a lot, I'm leaping a lot, and so the shoe can't be too low. It's got to be just the right height. And if you watch D play, when he's coming down and before he starts to take off, it's real easy for his foot to lose control. So we spend a lot of time really focusing on stability in the heel. So if you look at the back of the shoe, it's got a really beautiful shape in the heel just to reflect his foot as well as that last step he's going to take before he jumps. Yeah? And then this detail right here, which is a shank that wraps up from the side, is to give him really great ankle stability. So we talked a lot about that as well. You remember this whole competition around the traction, right? And how we designed this traction, and you can see there's different patterns underneath the shoe just to mimic his game as well, and to really elevate the traction on this shoe even more so than we had in the last product.
So what it's saying is my game is confusing. You don't know which direction I'm going in.
You don't know, right? You don't know.
That's how I look at the bottom. It's confusing. You don't know.
Yeah, so there's large herringbone or traction on the bottom of the shoe and the inside of his shoe, and then we have this really tight micro. So when he's starting to cut, he gets great break, whether he's cutting to the right or he's going to break before he takes off. So really focus a lot on that, and then creating a modular heel and forefoot detail. So that was a lot about what Dee talked about as far as his game as well. Now in the upper, you talked a lot about sweat, right? So in the past, how many shoes have you gone through in one game?
It depends. But obviously I sweat a lot, so I went through a few pair, in the game, 3 pair.
Yeah.
Sometime, yeah.
Which is crazy. In one game, go through 3 pairs of shoes. Because like Dee said, the shoe would literally break down. He's super hard on shoes. He's one of the hardest players in the game, and the shoes weren't holding up. So this upper is using Hyperfuse technology and innovation so that what it does is it gives you this really great fitting upper, and it doesn't break down under the stress of the players. And it's lighter and it's breathable. So it was really trying to solve the problem that he was having with his other shoes that were either leather based or a combination of leather and some other materials, some other synthetics. So that's why we went to this a Hyperfuse. So, and then from a finish standpoint, you talked a lot about this matte finish, so the shoe he has in his hand. Now, what is it that you like so much about this finish, Steve?
Well, the biggest thing is kind of what I say when I sit down and go into the lab with what cars I want or how I want my cars to look. I'm always come back to sleek, right? I'm just a person who I like clean, so I like Aston Martins, right? If you think about Aston Martins, how clean an Aston Martin is, how sleek it is. You think about the front of Aston Martin, how it's shaped, and so I always come back to that because I like a sleek, I like a clean, but I also wanted some matte, because matte is what's hot right now. So I wanted to bring some matte, different colors throughout this year in my shoes, and you see it's on different shoes at different places, which I thought would be, thought it'd be hip, thought it'd be cool. To have that on our sneakers just as well as we have it on our cars. 2 of the most important things for men.
And we showed you. We showed you a lot of different finishes, right? We showed you gloss finishes. We showed you a lot of things. And when we pulled this out, he was like, "That's it. That's the finish. Do every color like that." Said, all right, cool. So and really, that's what we really set out to do was pretty much every color has this matte finish, and it feels like it's modern, but it's also really edgy and technical at the same time. So it's not just, hey, we did a matte finish to do a matte finish. It just made sense for this shoe and for his game, right? And it's some of the other things that are in the shoe too that we talked about. Remember we talked a little bit about the whole underfoot. So we got this lunar lawn, what we call what is the lightest weight foam that we have in the industry for lightweight propulsion. And so we introduced that and talked to Dwyane about that. And it's full length, so it goes from the heel to the forefoot, but it also goes from outside to the inside. So it's called edge to edge lunar. Super light. And Dee talked a lot about making sure the shoe was as light as it can be.
Yeah, obviously as everyone knows, there's a lot of shoes out and they're getting lighter and lighter and lighter. But still for my game, I gotta have a certain, because I'm so hard on the shoes, because I'm so hard on the ground, my shoe can't be too light, but I need it light enough to still be able to get off the ground and not feel like anything is wearing me down. So I think in this shoe we got down to we're in close to 12.
Yep, 12 ounces.
Yeah. And last year my flyweight 1 was 13. But still trying to not try to get too light, but trying to work ourselves down to where it gives me more of an opportunity to be able to get off the ground and I feel like nothing holds me down.
Now you've been wearing these shoes for about at least a good 2 months now, testing them and we've tested it through the whole process, right? But now that we have the final sample, right? You've been wearing it do light plays, some heavy play recently. Let's talk about that a little bit. So how's your shoe feel in your foot?
Well, they would have been ready October 1st. But we wasn't ready. So obviously I spent a lot of time. One of the most important things to guys is to make sure that we have no problems with our feet by the time the season starts. You want to focus on everything else but your feet. So we go back and forth. With sending me different variations of shoes, and I tell them, what's comfortable, what's not, what doesn't feel good, etc. And so yes, I've been pretty much working on these for a while. Breaking them in, ready for the game. So
yeah, we started about 18 months ago, really, working on this and then meeting with Dwyane. I think we met what 6 times already, right?
Too much. Not a lot of times, yeah.
Some here in Miami. He was out in Portland, sitting down with us in Portland, going through a lot of details, and then, like you said, back and forth. Emailing and text. I mean, this guy hits you with a text in a minute, so you gotta be ready, because he'll ask you a question in a minute about the shoe, or where we at with the shoe, how's it looking? Send me a detailed image of it. So that's how we have to work in the modern day, right? Yep. Anything else you want to talk about?
My new logo. You'll see my logo's on the shoe. On the Flyweight one, it was just I didn't have my logo yet, and a lot of people asked me about when I was getting my logo, and we kind of went through variations of logos, and I wanted something that kind of was simple, but still made a statement where you can know it was me just by the look. Obviously, looking at this, you see it's a W. Also, it's a 3 at the same time. So, I thought it was something that was kind of abstract in a sense, but still got the point across, and that would look good. So, my logo is on the tongue of the shoe, and obviously, we kept it simple. We didn't try to do too much, and we put the Jordan logo on the side. I think the Jordan logo may be a little bigger than my logo. I'll talk about that later. But no, it's we kept it real simple with the logos. We wanted people to understand exactly, that it's Jordan and that it's Wade, and and identify that.